Hey guys, tonight we delve into the shadows of fear, into that quiet space between heartbeats where the real world ends and something else begins. Imagine the scent of old dust and fresh paint, the hopeful promise of a new beginning in a house that costs just a little too little. You run your hand along the hallway wallpaper, a faded floral pattern, and you feel a slight dampness, a chill that the afternoon sun never quite seems to burn away. This is your fresh start, your sanctuary. But houses have memories, and the bones of this one remember everything. The previous owners left in a hurry, and you're about to discover why. The reality check here is a cold one. You can leave a house, but the house doesn't always let go of you. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. I'd love to know where in the world you're listening from tonight, so feel free to post your location and local time in the comments below. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's chilling journey together. The first night is the quietest, a deep, almost suffocating silence that makes the rustle of your own sheets sound like a thunderclap. You lie awake, staring at the water stain on the ceiling, tracing its shape like a country on a map you've never visited. And that's when you hear it. Not a sound, really, more of a pressure, a faint, papery rustle that seems to come from the walls themselves. You sit up, holding your breath, straining your ears. Nothing. You chalk it up to the house settling, the pipes whispering to one another inside the walls. It's an old building after all, it has a right to its aches and pains. You lie back down, pulling the duvet tight under your chin. But the next day, while you're unpacking a box of kitchenware, you hear it again. This time it's clearer, a susurration, a low, rhythmic murmur like many people whispering just on the other side of the plaster. You pressed your ear to the cool wall, your heart hammering against your ribs. The sound vanishes instantly, leaving only the dull thump of your own pulse in your ear. You feel a little foolish. It's the wind, you tell yourself. It's finding its way through the old clapboard siding, creating a weird acoustic effect. It has to be. Psychologists still argue whether auditory pareidolia, the brain's tendency to find patterns in noise, like hearing voices and static, is a symptom of isolation or a latent survival mechanism, a way to hear predators that aren't there just in case one ever is. By the third day, the whispers have texture. You can't make out words, not exactly, but you catch the cadence of them, a pleading, rising tone, a sharp, sibilant command, a soft, despairing sigh. They're strongest in the hallway, that always damp hallway with the floral wallpaper. You find yourself avoiding it, taking the long way around from the bedroom to the kitchen just to avoid the sensation of being listened to by the very structure that shelters you. This is the classic haunted house trope, the place that knows you're in it, but it feels less like a ghost and more like the house itself is a throat and you are standing deep inside it. You try to rationalize it. You're tired from the move, stressed. It's a new environment. But then, as you're finally hanging a picture to try and inject some of your own personality into the place, your fingernail catches on a loose seam in the wallpaper. Without thinking, you pick at it. A corner peels away with a soft, ripping sound. Underneath, hidden by the cheerful flowers, is another layer of wallpaper. This one is dark, a deep maroon, with a pattern that looks less like flowers and more like intricate, overlapping eyes. And the paper is damp to the touch, cold. A faint, earthy smell wafts from it, the smell of turned soil and old roots. You lean closer, and a whisper, clear and cold, seems to seep directly from the wall into your ear. It's just one word, drawn out into a long, shuddering breath. Stay. You jerk back, your skin crawling. The rational part of your brain is screaming about drafts and imagination. but a deeper, older part of you knows. It heard you. The house heard you, and it spoke back. You smooth the floral paper back down, your hand trembling, trying to pretend you never saw it, never heard it. But that night, the whispers are different. They don't just seem to come from the walls. They seem to be discussing you. Your name, or something like it, surfaces in the murmur once or twice. You pull the pillow over your head, but the sound isn't in the air anymore. It's inside your head. A chorus of quiet, insistent voices welcoming you home. The fear isn't just of something in the house anymore. It's the fear of the house itself, and the terrible, creeping notion that you are becoming part of its long, silent history. The whispers become a constant, low-grade hum in your life, the sonic equivalent of the dampness that never leaves the walls. You learn to function around it, a new and terrible normal. You drink more coffee, turn on the radio for white noise, anything to fill the silence that isn't silent at all. You find yourself staring at screens more, your phone, your laptop, the old television you hooked up in the living room. The glow is a comfort, something modern and electric to push back against the ancient, papery murmurs of the house. It's during one of these late-night scrolling sessions, the blue light washing over your face, that you first see him. It's in the periphery, a flicker of movement in the dark hallway behind the couch. You snap your head around, but there's nothing there, just the deep shadows and the faint floral pattern of the wallpaper. You shrug it off. Fatigue, eye strain. You return to your phone. But a moment later, there it is again. A tall, slender shape composed entirely of shifting gray static, like a man-shaped hole in the world filled with the noise from a dead television channel. It doesn't move. It just stands there, a silent, crackling sentinel in the dark. Your blood runs cold. This isn't a whisper. This is a shape, a form. You slowly, so slowly turn your head to get a proper look, but the moment your eyes try to focus on it, it's gone. Not like it moved away, but like it was never there. The afterimage of its staticky form burning for a second in your vision before fading. Your heart is a frantic drum against your ribs. You stand up, flicking on every light switch between the living room and the hallway. The house is bright, garish, and empty. The whispers seem to have hushed, as if waiting. The next time you see him, you're making dinner. The static band is standing in the garden, just beyond the kitchen window. Motionless amidst the overgrown weeds, his form flickering and buzzing with unseen energy. You drop a plate. It shatters on the floor, and when you look back up, the figure is gone. The fear evolves. It's no longer a general unease. It's a specific, targeted dread. He is watching you. You start catching him everywhere. A glitch in the corner of your eye when you're reading, a pixelated distortion in your bathroom mirror as you brush your teeth. Always on the edge of your vision, never in focus. If you try to look directly, he vanishes. This is a different kind of horror trope. The shadow person, the hat man, the phenomenon of a perceived presence just outside your field of view. But this one feels technological, alien. It's the fear of a world glitching, a reality itself having a bleed-through from some other more chaotic dimension. You find yourself suffering from a sudden and intense case of scopophobia, the irrational fear of being watched. Except it's not so irrational anymore, is it? You feel the prickle on the back of your neck constantly. You draw all the curtains, but it doesn't help. You know he's still there, just on the other side of the thin fabric, a statue of noise and bad reception.
One night, you wake up parched. The digital clock on your bedside table reads 3:07 a.m. The room is pitch black, and you are not alone. At the foot of your bed stands the Static Man. He is closer than he's ever been. You can hear it now, a low electric hum, a sound like 1,000 angry bees trapped behind a screen. You can't move. You can't scream. You are pinned by a terror so absolute it feels like a physical weight on your chest. He doesn't have a face, just a shifting, buzzing emptiness where a face should be. But you feel him looking at you, studying you. Psychologists still argue whether these hypnopompic hallucinations, the visions we sometimes see in the state between sleep and waking, are mere neural static or glimpses into something else. But you are awake. You know you are awake. You can feel the dry cotton of your sheets, taste the stale air in your room. This is real. The figure raises a hand, an appendage that crackles and dissolves at the edges. It's not a gesture of threat. It's almost like an invitation or a warning. The hum grows louder, filling your skull, vibrating in your teeth. And then, as suddenly as he appeared, he's gone. The room is silent and dark again. The only sound is your own ragged, terrified breathing. And faintly, from the walls, the sound of the whispers, which now seem to carry a new electric quality to them, as if they've found a new frequency to broadcast on. The encounter leaves a residue, a psychic static that clings to you for days. Your skin feels perpetually buzzed, your nerves frayed and exposed. You avoid mirrors, not out of vanity, but out of a deep, primal fear of what might be looking back from the other side. The whispers have adopted the Static Man's electric hum, a horrible fusion of the old and the new, the organic and the artificial. The house feels less like a throat and more like a receiver, tuning into stations from nightmares. It's this new, buzzing anxiety that drives you to seek a moment of normalcy. A hot shower, the steam, the white noise of the water, it's the one place the whispers can't quite penetrate. You stand under the spray, eyes closed, letting the heat scald your skin, trying to wash away the feeling of being watched. When you finally open your eyes, wiping the condensation from the mirror, you freeze. Your reflection is wrong. It's you, but it's not. The shape of the face is right, the color of the eyes is the same, but the expression is all wrong. It's a cold, placid mask, utterly devoid of the terror you feel churning in your gut. You blink, and your reflection blinks a half-second too late, a lag in reality. You slowly raise a hand to touch your cheek, and the reflection does the same, but its fingers move with a strange, fluid grace yours lack, and its touch seems to linger, to caress its own face with a familiarity that feels alien and invasive. You stare, your breath catching in your throat. Your reflection's lips twitch into a smile. It's a small, cruel thing, an expression you know you've never made in your life. It's the smile of someone who knows a secret you don't, a secret about you. You take a step back from the sink, and the reflection remains leaning forward, its face now pressed almost against the glass, that awful smile widening, its eyes dark pits that seem to drink the light from the room. You can see the pores on its skin, the individual strands of its hair, all in hyper-realistic detail, more real than you feel in this moment. This is the doppelganger, the evil twin, the fear that there is another you, a you that is better, worse, or simply other, and it's waiting for its chance to take your place. It's a fear that lives in the uncanny valley of your own face. You stumble out of the bathroom, leaving the light on, refusing to look back. For the rest of the day, you avoid all reflective surfaces. The dark screen of your TV, the window glass as night falls, even the polished surface of the kitchen kettle. You feel fractured, like your own identity is no longer a solid thing.
That night, driven by a morbid need to confirm your own sanity, you creep back to the bathroom door. It's slightly ajar, the light still blazing. From your angle, you can't see into the mirror. You push the door open slowly. The room is empty. You let out a breath you didn't realize you were holding and step inside. Your reflection is there. It's just you. Pale, terrified, eyes wide with lack of sleep, but it's you. The fear begins to recede, replaced by a wave of exhausting relief. It was stress, a trick of the light, and an overwhelmed mind. You lean on the sink, hanging your head, and that's when you see it. On the counter, next to the faucet, is your toothbrush. It's damp, and it's not on the side you use. You're right-handed. You always leave it on the right side of the sink. It's on the left, and it's wet. Your eyes snap up to the mirror. Your reflection is still there, still mimicking your look of dawning horror. But now, a single, perfect drop of water drips from its chin. A chill that has nothing to do with the room temperature locks your spine. You didn't splash any water on your face. Your chin is dry. Psychologists still argue whether the phenomenon of autoscopy, the hallucination of seeing one's own body from outside oneself, is a neurological glitch or a profound psychological dissociation. But this is different. This thing isn't outside of you. It's in the glass, wearing your skin, and it's learning. It's practicing being you. You back away again, this time for good. A silent scream trapped in your throat. The house feels different now. It's not just that it's haunted, it's that it's building a better version of you, a version that will never need to leave.
Sleep is a forgotten country. Every time you close your eyes, you see the placid, smiling face in the mirror or the crackling void of the static man. Exhaustion pulls at you like a tide, but fear is the riptide that keeps you from drifting under. You spend your nights on the couch, the television tuned to an infomercial channel, its bland, cheerful host a guardian against the silence. The floral wallpaper in the hallway seems to pulse faintly in your peripheral vision, the patterns shifting when you don't look directly at them. The house is breathing with you, and its breath is a chorus of whispers and static. It's during one of these long, hollow nights that your gaze, bleary and unfocused, drifts upward. The ceiling above you is textured, that classic popcorn style from decades ago. And there, just above the arm of the sofa, is that old water stain you noticed on your first night. But it's changed. It's larger, for one thing. Its edge is darker, more defined, and its shape is no longer a random blob. It has coalesced into something disturbingly symmetrical. It looks like a large, dark blossom, or a stylized sunburst, or a mouth. The center is the darkest part, a deep, shadowy black that seems to absorb the light from the television screen. You sit up, rubbing your eyes. It's just a stain, dampness from an old leak, a flaw in the plaster, but you can't look away. As you watch, a single, glistening bead of moisture forms at the very center of the darkness. It swells, catching the light, and then drips. It doesn't fall straight down. It seems to arc towards you, landing with a soft, wet plink on the wooden floorboards beside the couch. The sound is absurdly loud in the room. You stare at the tiny dark spot on the floor. Another droplet forms. Plink. Then another. Plink. A slow, cold dread begins to seep into you, a feeling far more ancient than the fear of static or reflections. This is a primal disgust, the fear of contamination,
of something unclean and wet violating your space. My Sophia, the terror of germs and dirt, mixes with the deep-seated fear of being dripped on by something unknown in the dark. You can't just lie here. You get up, moving stiffly, and fetch a towel from the bathroom, avoiding looking in the mirror. You place it on the floor under the stain. The droplets continue to fall, each one soaking into the fabric with a soft, muffled sound. Thup, thup, thup. The rhythm is hypnotic and deeply unsettling. It's not random. It's a slow, steady beat, like a heartbeat. You find yourself counting the seconds between each drop. 1,000, 1,000. Thup. It's precise, mechanical. You lie back down, pulling the blanket over your head, but the sound is still there, a metronome of dampness. Thup. It marks the passage of time in this timeless nightmare house. Thup. You realize the whispers have stopped. The static has faded. There is only the dripping. Thup. As if the house is concentrating. Thup. As if it's focusing all its energy on this one small spot above you. Thup.
Hours pass. The infomercials give way to a test pattern, then to silent gray static. The room is dark, except for the faint glow of the TV's empty channel. You haven't slept. You've just been lying there, listening to the dripping. Thup. The towel must be soaked through by now. Thup. The sound has changed slightly. It's not landing on fabric anymore. It sounds thinner, more metallic. Plink. You slowly, silently push the blanket down from your face and look. The towel is gone. In its place is a large stainless steel mixing bowl you'd left out after trying and failing to make dinner. The droplets are now hitting the bottom of the bowl. Plink, plink, plink. And the stain on the ceiling, it's bigger. It has spread, its dark tendrils reaching out across the textured plaster. The central blackness is now the size of a dinner plate, a perfect circle of absolute dark. And from that darkness, the drops continue to fall with that terrible rhythmic precision. You didn't move the towel. You didn't bring the bowl. Psychologists still argue whether the human mind can truly manufacture physical changes in its environment under extreme duress, or if we simply perceive a reality that is far more malleable than we dare believe. But the bowl is there. The sound is real. And as you watch, paralyzed, a new sound begins. A soft, wet, sucking sound coming from the stain. The sound of something trying to form a word. The rhythmic plink in the steel bowl becomes the clock by which your life is measured. It's a maddening constant reminder that the laws of your world have softened, that the ceiling above you is now little more than a straining membrane. The sucking, wordless sounds from the stain have subsided, replaced by a low, guttural vibration you feel more than hear, a sound that travels through the floorboards and into the bones of your feet. It's the sound of digestion, of something being slowly, patiently broken down. You can't stay in the living room. The air is thick with a sweet, cloying odor, like rotting petals and wet earth. You find yourself drawn to the one part of the house you've avoided most, the basement. The door is tucked under the stairs, a heavy, old thing painted a dull, chipping white. It's always been locked, and the previous owners never provided a key. You'd written it off, content to ignore the damp, unseen space below. But now it feels like the only place to go. The whispers, the static, the reflection, the dripping, they are all upstairs. The basement is silent. It is the only silent place left. You don't have a key,
But the lock is old and simple. A few hard jiggles of the handle, and it gives way with a rusty screech. The door swings inward, revealing a steep flight of wooden stairs descending into absolute blackness. The air that wafts up is cold and smells of stone, of deep time, and of something else, a sharp, coppery tang, like an old penny. You find a flashlight in a kitchen drawer, and its beam feels pathetically small and weak as you point it down the stairs. The steps groan under your weight, a sound that seems to offend the profound silence. The basement is exactly what you expected, low-ceilinged, cramped, filled with the detritus of decades past. An old washing machine, its tub filled with murky water. Cobweb-shrouded shelves holding jars of unidentifiable, desiccated things. But your beam doesn't linger on any of that. It's drawn to the far corner, to the one thing that looks new. It's a box, about the size of a small footlocker, made of a dark, polished wood that seems to drink the light. It's utterly out of place amidst the grime and decay. There's no visible lock, no latch, no seam that you can see, as if it were carved from a single perfect timber. And it's humming. Not the electric hum of the static man, but a deeper, resonant frequency, a vibration that seems to sync with your own heartbeat, pulling at something deep in your chest. You know, with a certainty that bypasses thought, that this is the source, not of the horrors, but of the energy that allows them to manifest. This is the heart of the house.
You approach it slowly, the beam of your flashlight trembling. The air around the box is colder. You reach out a hand, not to touch the box itself, but to feel the space just above its lid. Your fingers tingle, then go numb, as if you've touched a limb that's fallen asleep. There's a pressure there, an invisible field of energy that feels both alien and terrifyingly familiar. It feels like the silence in the moments before the whispers start. It feels like the empty space where the static man's face should be. It feels like the cold, polished surface of the mirror before your reflection moves. This is the fear of the unknown object, the unopenable container. Kryptonite locked away in a lead box, Pandora's vessel. The terror isn't of what's inside, but of the potential of what's inside, the sheer unbearable possibility. You find yourself wanting to open it, a compulsion that makes your mouth go dry. You run your fingers along the sides, searching for a hidden mechanism, a way in. The wood is smooth, impossibly so, and warm to the touch despite the chill in the air. The hum intensifies, vibrating up your arm. It feels like recognition, like the box knows you're here, like it's been waiting. Psychologists still argue whether the human craving for forbidden knowledge, the impulse to open the door, to look behind the curtain, is a driver of progress or a fundamental death wish. But this is no longer psychology. This is physics. This is a locked singularity sitting in your basement. You realize the sounds from upstairs have stopped. The dripping has ceased. The house is holding its breath. The box is the anchor, and all the phenomena, the whispers, the static, the double, the stain, are just echoes, shadows cast by this core of impossible energy. You pull your hand back as if burned. The hum softens but doesn't stop. It's a promise or a threat. The one thing you know for certain is that this box was not meant to be found. And now that you have, the house will never let you forget it. The silence upstairs is a lie. You know it the moment you climb out of the basement, your skin still buzzing from the proximity of the box. It's a held breath, a predator's stillness. The air in the hallway is thick and heavy, charged with an expectation that makes the hairs on your arms stand up. The floral wallpaper seems brighter, the patterns more pronounced, the colors unnaturally vivid. You half expect the whispers to return with a vengeance, a cacophony to punish you for discovering their source. But they don't. The house is quiet, waiting. You make tea because it's a human thing to do. The kettle whistles, a shockingly normal sound in the abnormal silence.
You pour the boiling water, and the steam fogs the kitchen window. As you're stirring in honey, you see him. Not in the periphery, not as a flicker. The static man is standing directly across the street, under the flickering glow of a sodium vapor street lamp. He is perfectly still, his form a constant shimmering distortion in the night. He is not hiding, he is presenting himself. You freeze, the spoon clattering against the mug. This is different. This is a declaration. You back away from the window, your heart hammering. You need to see. You need to know if he's still there. You edge back, peering around the doorframe. He is there, and he is closer. He is now at the end of your walkway, his staticky form casting no shadow on the pavement. The low hum you heard in your bedroom is back, but it's not inside your head this time. It's outside, vibrating through the window pane, a sound felt in your teeth. You can't look away. His faceless head is tilted, as if regarding your home, regarding you. A soft sound makes you jump. A knock. Not at the front door. It's gentler than that. It's at the kitchen door, the one that leads out to the overgrown garden. It's a polite, almost timid tap, tap, tap. Your blood turns to ice. The static man is in front of you. Who or what is at the back door? The knocking comes again, a little louder this time. It's not the frantic pounding of a monster trying to get in. It's the knock of a visitor, an invited guest.
This is the ultimate perversion of the haunted house trope. The thing isn't breaking in, it's asking to be let in. The fear of the home invasion twists into something even more insidious, the terror of voluntary surrender. Your feet carry you, against every screaming instinct, towards the kitchen door. The hum from the street grows louder, a sympathetic vibration. You can see a shape through the frosted glass of the door window, a tall, dark silhouette. It's not the crackling form of the static man. This shape is solid, humanoid. The knob begins to turn, slowly. It doesn't rattle or force the lock. It turns with a smooth, deliberate grace, as if the person on the other side has a key. The lock disengages with a soft, definitive click. You are paralyzed, a rabbit in the gaze of a snake. The door pushes inward, swinging open silently on well-oiled hinges. He stands in the doorway, backlit by the pale moonlight. For a terrifying second, you think it's you. He has your height, your build. But his clothes are wrong, an old-fashioned dark suit, impeccably tailored, but out of another time. And his face is your face. But it's the face from the mirror, the cold, placid mask. The cruel smile is gone, replaced by an expression of serene, empty calm. His eyes are the worst part. They are your eye color, but they are depthless, like painted glass. He doesn't blink. He doesn't cross the threshold. He simply stands there, one hand resting lightly on the doorframe. He is waiting for you to invite him in. The silence stretches, broken only by the electric hum from the street and the sound of your own ragged breathing. This is the entity you've been fearing, not a mindless force, but an intelligence, a presence. And it hasn't come to attack you, it has come to reside. Psychologists still argue whether the feeling of a presence is a symptom of temporal lobe disturbance or a hardwired spiritual instinct. But this is no feeling. This is a man standing in your doorway, wearing your face, and he is so much more terrifying than any ghost, because he looks like he belongs here. You stammer, your voice a dry croak. You don't know what to say. Go away? Help me? Who are you? He tilts his head the same way the static man did, a perfect, mirroring gesture. And then he speaks. His voice is not his own. It is a chorus. It is the sound of the whispers, the drip from the ceiling, the hum of the static, and the deep thrum of the box in the basement, all woven together into a perfect, horrifying imitation of a human voice. It's Om.
it says.
The words hang in the air, not as sound, but as a physical change in pressure. I'm home. The thing in your doorway, the thing wearing your skin, does not move. It simply is, a monument of wrongness blocking your escape into the night. The hum from the street has ceased. The static man is gone, his purpose apparently served. He was the herald. This is the king. You take a stumbling step backward, your hand flailing behind you, searching for a weapon, any weapon. Your fingers close around the handle of the heavy frying pan you left on the stove. You brandish it, a pathetic metallic shield between you and the invader. The thing, the you thing, doesn't react. Its depthless eyes don't even flicker towards the pan. Its serene expression doesn't change. It's like you've raised a leaf against a hurricane. A faint smile now touches its lips. It's not the cruel smile from the mirror. This is worse. It's a smile of pity, of profound, ancient boredom. It takes a single smooth step across the threshold. Its shoe, polished, black, and utterly unfamiliar, makes no sound on the kitchen tile. As it enters, the house sighs. It's a palpable sensation. The walls seem to lean in. The constant low-grade anxiety that has been your companion for weeks suddenly crystallizes into a single sharp point: acceptance. The house has been waiting for him, for it, for this version of you. You swing the pan. It's a desperate, wild blow, fueled by pure animal terror. It should connect with the side of its head. It should make a sound. But your arm passes through the air where its head should be. There is a moment of nauseating disorientation, a sensation of falling through cold, thin smoke. You stagger, off balance, the momentum of the swing carrying you around. The you thing is now standing behind you, near the kitchen table. It didn't move. It was simply elsewhere. This is the unraveling. This is where the laws of physics, the very glue of your reality, begin to fray at the edges. The world becomes soft, malleable. The floral pattern on the hallway wallpaper begins to bleed, the colors dripping down the wall like wet ink, pooling and shimmering nonsensical puddles. The ceiling above you groans, and the dark stain reappears, not just in one spot, but across the entire ceiling. A sprawling Rorschach block of dampness that pulses with a slow internal rhythm. From the basement door, a new sound emerges, competing with the low thrum of the box, a rising cacophony of the whispers, now clear, distinct, and terrifyingly articulate. They are chanting. They are chanting your name. The you thing watches you, its head tilted. It raises his own hand, looking at it with a detached curiosity, as if it never seen it before. Then it points a finger at the wall beside you. You turn your head. The surface of the wall is shimmering like heat haze on asphalt. It clears and you are staring into a mirror. Not a glass mirror, a living reflection in the plaster. It shows you, standing terrified in your kitchen, frying pan in hand. And it shows the you thing standing calmly behind you. But in the reflection, the you thing's hand is resting on your shoulder. Its cold, placid face is right beside yours, cheek to cheek. You gasp and whirl around. Nothing is there. You look back at the wall. The reflection remains, the thing still holding you in an intimate, possessive embrace.
You scream. The sound is swallowed by the house instantly, absorbed by the chanting whispers, by the pulsing ceiling, by the humming box. The sound doesn't travel, it just dies in your throat. The you thing takes another step towards you. You back away, into the hallway. The floor beneath your feet is no longer solid wood. It feels spongy, organic, like walking on packed earth. The puddles of color from the wallpaper have soaked into it, leaving the walls bare and bone-white. Psychologists still argue whether reality is a construct of the mind, a shared hallucination we all agree upon. But here, now, the agreement has been broken. Your mind is no longer the architect of your perception. The house is, and the thing wearing your face is its foreman. You look towards the front door, your last hope of escape. The door is still there, but the world through its frosted glass window is not your street. It's a swirling gray vortex of static, a howling emptiness. There is no outside, there is only the house. It has turned itself inside out, and you are trapped in the middle. The you thing is close now. You can smell it. It smells like ozone and old books and cold soil. It smells like the box in the basement. It reaches out a hand, not to strike you, but to touch your face. Its fingers are cold, and they feel real. The touch is not violent. It is a coronation. Its cold fingers against your cheek feel like a key sliding into a lock you never knew you had. The world does not explode, it clarifies. The chanting whispers resolve into a single, clear voice that is both yours and not yours, a voice woven from the static and the damp and the deep hum of the box. It speaks inside your mind, a calm, inexorable tide washing away the crumbling shores of your fear. You have fought the current, it says, and the voice holds no malice, only a weary, ancient patience. You have thrashed and struggled against the flow of what is and what must be. This house is not a prison, it is a preservation, a record. Every whisper in the wall is a story. Every flicker of static is a memory. The stain on the ceiling is a tear in the fabric of forgetting. And I am the curator, the guardian of the silence that comes after the scream. The you thing, the curator, drops its hand. The frantic drumming of your heart begins to slow, forced into a new sedate rhythm that matches the slow dripping pulse from the ceiling. The spongy, organic feel of the floor solidifies beneath your feet, but it is no longer wood. It is smooth, cool stone. The walls, now bare and white, are no longer plaster. They are seamless, polished marble, stretching up into a darkness where the ceiling used to be. The kitchen is gone. The hallway is gone. You are standing in a vast, silent, and beautiful necropolis. Your home has shed its skin, revealing its true final form. A tomb, a museum, a perfect, silent archive. The world outside is noise and decay, the voice continues, and you see images flash in your mind, cities crumbling, forests burning, faces aging and turning to dust. It is entropy. It is loss. Here, nothing is lost. Here, everything is kept. The previous occupant, an image of a woman, her face drawn with the same terror you felt, flickers, and then stills, her expression softening into placid, eternal calm. She becomes a portrait on the wall, forever peaceful. She chose to join the collection, to become a story whispered to the next resident, a lesson in the beauty of quietude. The curator gestures with your hand, and a section of the wall slides away, revealing the box from the basement. It is now transparent, glowing with a soft inner light. Inside, you don't see an object. You see a swirling, beautiful nebula of light and shadow, of captured sounds and frozen moments. It is the source, the engine of this eternity.
It yearns for a new keeper, the voice whispers, now sounding almost sad. My time is passing, yours is beginning. This is the choice. The ultimate horror is not death or pain, it is the offer of a forever duty to become the new curator, to wear this calm, empty face for eternity, to guide the next terrified soul to this same moment, to preserve the silence.
The curator watches you. It's your eyes no longer depthless. In them you see an ocean of time, of infinite loneliness, and of a love for this silent, perfect order that is beyond your comprehension. You understand the static man was a warning system. The reflection was a test. The dripping ceiling was an invitation. It was all a recruitment drive. Psychologists still argue whether true altruism can exist or if every choice is ultimately self-serving. But this choice exists outside of that. This is about legacy, about becoming part of a system so vast your individual self simply ceases to be relevant. You look at the box, humming its siren song of perfect, endless peace. You look at the placid portraits on the wall. You look at the curator, your own face etched with an ageless, weary resolve. The screaming terror is gone. In its place is a profound, crushing understanding. There is no fight left. There is only the decision to join the silence or to become the voice that maintains it. The choice settles over you not as a weight, but as a release. The frantic energy that has been crackling through your nerves for weeks simply drains away, leaving behind a quiet, hollow calm. You look at your hands, and they seem less solid, more like suggestions of hands. The curator, the being that was once you and will be you again, nods slowly, a gesture of profound welcome. It turns and walks toward the glowing box, its form beginning to blur at the edges, to soften and diffuse, like smoke rising from an extinguished candle. It doesn't vanish, it simply rejoins, becomes part of the hum, the light, the eternal silent hum of the archive. You are alone in the vast marble hall. The portraits on the walls regard you with gentle, empty eyes. They are not accusing, they are waiting. The whispers have fallen completely silent. There is only the soft, almost imperceptible vibration of the box, a feeling that is now inside your chest, a second, slower heartbeat syncing with your own. You take a step toward it. The polished stone is cool and comforting under your bare feet. There is no urge to run, no spike of panic. That part of you has been archived, filed away with all the other screams. What remains is a deep, resonant certainty. This is not an end. It is a beginning of something so still, so vast, that the concept of fear holds no meaning within it. You reach out, not to open the box, but to place your palm flat against its surface. It is warm. It thrums with a life that is ancient and endless. You close your eyes. You let the light from the box fill your mind, washing away the last fading memories of sunlight and wind and other people. They are safe here. They are preserved. You are preserving them. Your breath slows, deepening into a rhythm that has no beginning and no end. The last thing you feel is not a feeling at all, but the absence of feeling, the beautiful, endless, silent embrace of the house, finally and completely making you whole.